toxic masculinity.
All right. Valeria,
Yes.
shall we read the first story?
High school coach fired for praying.
Yeah, this is a pretty messed up story. It's actually a little bit of an old story from what I understand, but
Is he white?
but I hadn't heard about it until now. I'm gonna move this slightly. So let's have a look at this. So Joe Kennedy was initially suspended and then fired in 2015 after he refused a school district order to end his post-game prayer session. So he's trying to sue the school district, I guess, or the school. Washington High School, a coach fired over post-game prayers, loses Ninth Circuit court record. So this story is actually following a case that already exists about this coach that was fired, and now he's trying to sue. But he lost his case in the Ninth Circuit, but I think he's going to appeal it and try to win it in a higher court, which I assume must be the Supreme Court. So let's hope they take it up, because the Ninth Circuit Court, you guys, just seeing, for those who don't know, most people know, but for those who don't know, the Ninth Circuit Court is like all activist leftist judges. They are known for ruling in a way that is not constitutional, but rather in a way that promotes like left-wing values, social justice, woke garbage.
What are left-wing values? Atheism? Atheism?
So many words that you can't pronounce. Yeah, just ideas like any issue that we're dealing with on a federal level, in which a leftist might have one view and a conservative might have another view, they will always rule in favor of the Democrat view. They pay no attention to anything about the law or about precedent or about the Constitution. They only rule in favor of the leftist view, always, 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 without fail. They're horrible. They're horrible activist judges. I don't know how they're allowed to have the seats that they have, because they are, it's just unbelievable, really. But let's have a look here. Let's read this. A former high school football coach in Washington State who's fighting a school district's ban on post-game prayer with his prayer that cost him his job. With his players. Okay. Prayer and players should not be in the same sentence. It's very confusing.
That I almost mistaken. Coach was fired for praying. I literally want to say playing.
Yeah. This is tough. This is a tough one, guys. All right. Ban on post-game prayers with his players that cost him his job. God, whoever wrote this, don't write that kind of thing. Think about it for a second. All right. He's lost his latest court battle. In the decision, a court for the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit in San Francisco appeared to accuse former Bremerton High School coach Joe Kennedy of seeking publicity rather than divine intervention. Kennedy's attempts to draw nationwide attention to his challenge to the district showed that he was not engaged in private prayer. What? Hold on. What? Judge Milan Smith wrote. Of course you'd think that. Your name is Milan, which is the name of a town in Italy. It's not a name. I guess you can name a kid.
I like this name.
Yeah,
I like this name.
Okay.
If I would be in Russia, I would name my daughter Milana.
That's just because you like
I like
fashion. All right, let's see here.
Who doesn't like it?
According to Q13 in Fox in Seattle. Let's see. Q13, I guess, is the news station. All right. Instead, he was engaged in public speech of an overtly religious nature while performing his job duties. Give me a break. The judge contends that the district tried to accommodate Kennedy, but was spurned by Kennedy, insisting that he be allowed to pray immediately after the conclusion of each game, potentially surrounded by students. Oh, dear God. No. To pray surrounded by students, that animal. Well, I don't understand how you can say that because he tried to bring attention to his case nationwide, that he couldn't possibly have been engaging in private prayer. That doesn't make any sense at all. It wasn't like he was praying like in the middle of an interview. It's not like he asked the news, the reporters to come around and film him whilst praying. so that he could make a kind of public declaration, religious public declaration. That's not what happened. He prayed privately. He was fired, took his case to, sued the school or the school district or whatever, and then that case went public. So it wasn't like the prayer itself was some kind of public speech. It's like the weirdest, most leftists always convolute what's going on so that they can basically twist it into something that makes sense to them, so that they can do whatever they want. They can justify whatever BS that they believe, or BS action that they're taking. Okay, let's see here. Smith, representing a 3-judge panel that decided the appeal, said the panel agreed that a district court had ruled correctly in favor of the school district rather than the coach in a previous step in the legal process. I could just imagine them like contemplating how to like screw this guy over. Like, oh, okay, well, we could say that it's, this is not, that it's not a separation of church and state, and but how are we going to do this? Okay, that's not very convincing. Ooh, what if we say that this was public speech instead of a private prayer? Because get this, because he this is a very public case that he got publicity for this. Oh, that's a great idea. Let's do that. Scheming activist judges. That's what I think happened. Let's see here. Yep. Kennedy was initially suspended and then fired in 2015 after he refused a school district order to end his post-game prayer sessions, which had begun with him silently praying along on the field before players later joined him. Let's see here. The retired Marine Corps gunnery sergeant shared his views last month during an appearance on Fox News. Fox News' America Reports. The First Amendment really means a lot to me, Kennedy said on February 1st, and it's really terrible today in America that somebody can be fired for expressing their faith. So I'm just fighting so that nobody else ever has to go through this and doesn't have to choose between their job and their faith. Lawyers for Kennedy said that they intend to continue fighting on the coach's behalf, potentially back to the U.S. Supreme Court, which had decided the case in 2019 to protect what they regarded as an infringement on the coach's free speech and worship rights. Q13 Fox reported. Which had declined the case in 2019 to protect. Okay, so they actually were presented with this case once before and they declined to take it. I think they really need to take it because this is a very critical thing. That this has happened several times where people have gotten in trouble, teachers and stuff have gotten in trouble for like wearing a cross to school and stuff like that. Yeah, as a teacher in schools, you can wear any kind of religious paraphernalia so long as it's not Christian in America, because there's this bizarre interpretation of the Constitution by leftists that says you're not allowed to advocate any kind of religious views if you work in any kind of public office, which doesn't make any sense. It's like the most bizarre thing. So if you're a school teacher, because that's a public position, right? If you work in a public school, it's a government job, I guess. You're not allowed to like wear crosses in some schools and stuff because they think that that's some kind of an expression of, some kind of promotion of religion, which is like some kind of violation of the separation of church and state, which is, the left really is very anti-Christian, and I don't really understand it, because, we have, I understand it to some degree because Christians have all these vicious principles like turn the other cheek, love your enemy, stuff like that, just really nasty stuff. So I can kind of understand where the left is going with that, but still, we have religious freedom in America, whether you work for the government or not. You should be able to express yourself even at the workplace, right? And so I think that the Supreme Court needs to rule once and for all on that and say people can express themselves in the workplace, whether they, if they believe in God. They should be able to do that, right? Because you can advocate any kind of belief other than Christianity. You can advocate atheism. You can advocate Islam. You can advocate Judaism. You really just can't. The only one that they refuse is any kind of Christian beliefs, any kind of Christian ideas. It's really quite disgusting. But anyway, I hope this guy gets his case gets his day in court in the Supreme Court, and I hope he wins. Anything to add, darling?
Well, maybe they so against Christianity because Christians are like, I mean, conservatives are Christians, right?
Typically, not all of them.
Typically. So maybe this is why they're so crazy about
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean,
Christianity.
definitely that's part of the divide. That's part of what exacerbates the problem for sure.
If you won't wear cross in Russia,
Mhm.
that's not good there.
If you won't wear a cross?
Yeah,
Oh, so everybody wears crosses in Russia?
almost everyone.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
mostly,
quite nice.
yeah.
That's an interesting development since Russia was like, Christianity was basically outlawed for decades.
You get your cross when you are a child. They like
Baptized.
yeah, and you get in your cross and you wear this cross
And then everybody wears it for the rest of their life.
almost, yeah.
Yeah. Except you.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah. Well, okay. So let's. Despite being a Christian, Valeria doesn't wear her cross, but I don't either. I don't really wear jewelry at all, though.
I do.
You wear
Tiny.
some jewelry, yeah.
Tiny.
Well, you wear the necklace that I bought you.
Yeah, it's like a.
Is that the first thing I bought you? The first jewelry I bought you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice.
It's nice.
Cartier?
You know, you didn't need to mention
I don't remember
the brand.
It was though, right? Yeah. I bought it for Christmas. Our first Christmas, I think. All right, so let's move on to the next story, shall we?
Okay.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Biden trips up the stairs to Air Force One.
This is terrible. Okay, so let's have a look at this. I actually really didn't want to. My buddy Adrian's calling. Should I put him on the air again? Toxic Masculinity. Weekdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.